years.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Greg's Vintage Workshop, where I'm restoring history one piece at a time. Tonight we're going to be looking at the Philco 7070 signal generator from 1947 that I unveiled previously in another video where I unwrapped it and we took the front apart and we kind of just got a quick look inside. Tonight we're going to delve into it, sitting right here under the covers, a little bit deeper, and we will test the transformer and I'll do the recap. So without further ado, let's move over and see what we got. Alright, so let's check this transformer out. We can do that. We can check the primary through the power cord right here, and we can check the secondary through the 6x5 rectifier tube, which I pulled out from right down there. And we're going to be using terminals 3 and 5 on the 6x5 rectifier to do those checks. So let's just go ahead and get started with that. I'll show you here on the schematic what we're going to be looking at. So here's the transformer. We're bypassing all of this portion right here because this, if you remember, has this inside cord right here. This is the inside cord versus the outside power cord down here. So we're going to check our primary right here, and then we're going to check our secondary right here at the 3 and the 5 of the 6x5 rectifier tube. So let's get that done. Alright, I've got my meter up top where you guys can see it, and we will see what we're going to get right here. And we're getting about 19 ohms. I don't have a great connection here because the tarnish on here, I think. We're about 18. There we go. 18. Well, 18. There we go. 18 ohms on the primary. According to the schematic, it's supposed to be 15 ohms. So I think it's well within tolerance, so we're going to call that good. It's not open. So now we're going to go between the 3 and the 5 for the secondary. So there's the 5. And let's see, 1, 2, 3 is this one. And we have 596, 595, 596 ohms, which, according to the schematic, it should be 355 and 340, about 695. We're about 100 ohms low on that, but it's not open. So let's just go ahead and see how they check to the center tap. So let's move this one up where I can get to the center tap. And we are 290 ohms to that one. And we'll move to there, to ground, center tap. We are 307, 308, 308. So if we add the 308 and the 290 together, that puts us at 598. So we measured 595, 598 combined. I'm going to call it good, even though there's, according to this schematics, about 100 low. It's not open, and they're both testing good. Each winding is testing good to the center tap. So we're going to call that good. The last one would be the black wires that supply the 6.7 volts to the lamp. So let's see what those are, make sure they're not open. So the black wires, they all look black. It should be this one right here, and this one right here. No, yes, right here. And we've got 2 ohms. That sounds about right. So I'm going to say that the transformer is good. So now let's take a look at the electrolytic and see what the values are. And it is, it's a 2 section, it's 30 microfarad at 450 volts and 10 microfarad at 450 volts. And I might be able to restuff it. It might be easier to just, let's turn it like this. It might be easier to just put a terminal strip in there. It looks like I have some room. However, this being a signal generator, I'd like to keep everything as shielded as possible. Let's see here. I have a new 33 microfarad at 450 in both radial and axial, and I have a 10 at 450 as well. These 2 smaller ones may fit in that can, may not either. They look like they'll be too long, so I guess I probably will wind up mounting them down here, somewhere down here. Alright, I will figure that out and we will come back. Okay, let's take a look at what we got. I'll show you what I did. So I took the 2 electrolytics that I showed you. If you can see down inside there, I've got a little terminal strip, 3 terminal strip that I soldered to the chassis. So we got a really good ground. That's the original electrolytic. It was basically the 2 terminal electrolytic, the 30 microfarad and the 10 microfarad, and we had a ground here. And we were running this series of resistors, which is 25600s, because they're in parallel. It was 28 something, I forget. Anyway, I have it written down. But anyway, so I took all that loose. I rerouted the wires. And this one over the one that came from this terminal ran over here, from here to here, and this one from here are now there. So the center terminal is the ground, and so we have the 33 and the 10, and we should be good to go. And it looks very clean, very happy with the way that looks. I cleaned this up some, cleaned up the wiring. It all looks really good. So electrolytic complete. So the next thing I did was I started the recap, and I changed these 2 0.05 microfarads. And I know you're going to say, no, they look like they're old. No, they're not. These are restuffed. These are not the 2 originals. These are 2 when I went to go get my 05s. In my drawer, I had already stuffed 2 0.05s with the modern 650 volt caps. So it was as simple as just taking the 2 old ones off and putting the 2 new ones on that look old. And I felt that that was appropriate, considering I'm trying to keep this looking as original as possible. They're new, but they look original. So that's that. And then I've got 2 back here that I haven't got to yet. I haven't done this yet. This one and this one. But what I'll do is I will replace those 2 caps, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I found. And maybe we'll get to this can and cleaning up some switches. But for now, I thought I'd show you what I've got. So that's what I've got done at this point. I'll get a little bit more done and we'll come back. Well, all right, let's see if we can get done with these two caps right here. So let me get my soldering iron down here and heating up. There we go. And let me see, we got here, I think that was a 0.05 when I looked at it in the schematic. I'm sorry, I just bumped my head, guys. Alright, let's see here. Get my magnifier. That is, yep, 0.05. Okay. And we are going down there to the base of that tube. But I think I might just have to do a cut off a little higher on that one and undo it over here. And I'll do the coil method on it, I think. So I think what I'll start by doing is cutting it loose right here. Like that, and then I can bend it forward and take another look at this. I have a piece of tubing on that. And get my light in here so I can see a little more light. There we go, I think, maybe. I have to tighten her up a little bit. There we go. Alright. So we're going to take that one off right there. On that terminal right there. So that's the third from the top. So let's just... I got my bigger tip on here for being able to heat this stuff up quicker. Like that. That one's got a hook on it of some sort. A lot of times I'll do that, I'll loosen it up. Yep, it took back. So a lot of times I'll loosen that up and wiggle it to keep the solder broke loose. Like that. And then I can snip the other end of it and get it come through, or come off, I guess I would say, like that. And then I grab the other tail of it on this side and get it the rest of the way out like that. So, alright, that's a 0.05. Go get another 0.05. I think I have another one. I already have a 0.05 that's been restuffed, that I restuffed a year or two ago, that I could use here. I got to get one for that side though. Let's see what we got here. I'd have to get one out of there to restuff it. I restuffed them on the other side. I kind of hate to not stuff them on this side. I guess that's what I get for using that way. I usually try and keep a fairly good stash of some of these things. There we go. There's a 0.05. Unstuffed 0.05. So that's what we'll just use. So put this one back over here. Turn my soldering iron down for a little bit and see how one of these 0.056s fits in there. And I think it's going to be a perfect fit. Look at that, nice snug fit. Not a perfectly snug fit, but a fit. It's okay fit, an okay fit. I don't have to really wrap any tape on it or anything like that. I usually put beeswax on these, but I really don't feel like heating beeswax up today, so I think I'm just going to use some hot glue on it. Get my hot glue gun heating up. That hot glue gun's heating up. I'm going to go ahead and get this one ready to stick on here. There we go. And the beeswax still on there. In fact, I'm going to melt that beeswax down a little bit. And that's what you do. You kind of spin it, and it gets the runs off of it. Like that. Alright. So, let's see, I want to put a coil on this other side to go on this, which I still need to trim a little of that off of there. Like that. And then I gotta coil that up. So let me get me keep knocking the camera for you guys. Cool. Let's see if I can get about the right size of my little rod sticking out. It's about that one, I think. So we'll just create a coil. Looks pretty good. Cut this tail off. I'll pull that out of there and we'll straighten the coil up. Well, let's see. Maybe we're better off with the coil. I think I like the coil at an angle like that. So that'll work. Just kind of straighten this leg out a little bit. Like that. And then my coil will just slide on there. It's on there. Alright. So now we'll take it back up to the other side. You know what? Before I do that though, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the other one on because there's no sense in me getting in the way of myself. So if we can get this out of here. There. Yeah, I think that's wrapped around it. So it's what they did. Let's see here. I think we're going to snip that right there like that. And then I'll get the tail off of there. There we go. That got the tail off. Alright. Now we should have enough heat into the glue gun to do this. So let's go ahead and squirt it full of hot glue here. That works. And then we'll do this side. It's kind of nice if you do it this way instead of the beeswax too, because in the future somebody could kind of see down inside there that is another cap down inside there, but it kind of gives the appearance that it's the original. So anyway, that's that. And we'll continue getting this other piece out. So it goes on the bottom, and I think I'll just snip that one off like that. Get that out of the way, and then I can get this other tail off hopefully. There, just snipped it. And there it is. All right. Let's get that in there. Like that. And we're going to go back onto this one right here. Like that. This isn't one of my better pairs of pliers here. There we go. Alright, so that one's in place. Cut my little tails off. Like that. Alright, so then we get this one. We're going to go around that one right there. Go ahead and let that coil go back a little bit. We're going to wrap that one right there. Alright. Go ahead and pull that out a little bit. Like that. And that looks pretty good. I think that that's going to work. Not too many people see people change tips while they're still red hot, but I'm a glutton for punishment, so I will do that sometimes. And let's see if we can get out of there. And we did. I can get my smaller tip. And we'll stick that in there. You guys are probably not seeing this. Hopefully you saw some of it on my other camera. I don't know if you did or not. Alright. Well, there we go. I'll tin this tip a little bit. Alright. Get some solder. Yeah, we're good. Alright, let's see if we can get this soldered. That one, and this one right here. There we go. Alright, so then that only leaves this other little section over here. I'm going to put a little drip of flux on it. go. That pretty much does the recap on these pieces here. I still got some caps in here, and let me get this opened up. Let's just go ahead and do that. Yep, that's what I thought. I remember seeing one in there. We have one in here. Alright, should be right here. This is the attenuator box right here. Something to point with here. Use my Magic X-Acto. So we have the attenuator box here. Hopefully I'm in the screen for you guys up close here, where you can see. Let me see if I can see what I'm doing here a little bit. We have the attenuator box here, and this is that cap. That's the .02. So since I bored you to death doing those other two, I am going to save you grief in watching me do this one. Let me pause you guys up for a minute. We'll come back when I get it done. Okay. So I got that cap changed out. I actually had to restuff the original. I didn't have an O2 cap cartridge or even one I could restuff, so I just restuffed the one that was in it, and turned out nice, turned out fine. So this is it here. I got the heat shrink on there. One of the other things I did before I came back on camera is I cleaned and lubricated that switch, that band switch. So I've got these little scratch brushes in steel wool, brass, fiber, or nylon, and I use the nylon. So you just basically turn some out. It's nice and stiff. You can spray the lubricant on there, deoxid, whatever you want to use, alcohol. I used alcohol, and then I used deoxid both, and then I worked the switch obviously after I did that, and I think that it's actually working really well, so that shouldn't be a problem there. So we got the new cap in there, got the attenuator switch working well. I wiped out the inside of that with alcohol as well. So we can go ahead and put the cover back on that. So we'll go ahead and put that back on there. There we go. There we go. That's on there now. All right. So, as Larry at Back to the Future radios would say, the floor monster got one of my star washers when I was working on that, but that's not really going to matter. Of course, I dropped it on the floor too. There we go. Floor monster didn't get that one though. Alright, so go ahead and get that back on there. That's where I got dropsy tonight. Alright, so that's the attenuator box. So we really got all of the caps in this section taken care of. So I think that I'm going to call this video done at this point, because we're running a little bit long and I don't want to run too long. So make sure you stay tuned for part 2, where we'll recap the connector box with where the outlet cord goes in, and we'll do some checking of the resistors in here, and we'll test the tubes. I lied to you. I said we were going to test tubes this time, but I didn't get that far, so we didn't do it. So thank you for watching. from Greg at Greg's Vintage Workshop. Please join me for my next video, and on my upper left you will see a link to another one of my previous videos that, if you haven't seen, would be good for you to watch. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I ask that you would hit like and subscribe. There's a little subscribe button down there on the lower right. And thank you for watching.